Born 1859, when economic conditions were both difficult and different, it has in a period triumphantly vindicated the merits and outstanding qualities of cooperation, not only in a trading sense, but as a prime factor in contributing to the welfare and cultural standard of the people. Starting in humble circumstances with dim prospects of survival, it has stood the test, and one of the great factors contributing to success was the foresight and self-sacrifice of other local societies in combining with St. Cuthbert to form one large society, covering not only Edinburgh proper, but now extending throughout Greater Edinburgh. Confronted as it is with new opportunities for further expansion, let St. Cuthbert's proceed from strength to strength and look forward to the celebration of its centenary in 1959.
Those who pine for the good old days forget that the middle of the 19th century was indeed a black spot in the history of the working classes. Not without a silver lining, however, for those early struggles led to the formation of the co-operative societies in an effort to ameliorate unbearable conditions. In Edinburgh, on the 1st of November 1859, St. Cuthbert's Co-operative Association Limited was officially registered, and 4 days later, the first shop in Ponton Street was opened with a membership of 63 and paid-up capital of just over £30. 50 years later, the membership had risen to 38,180. Paid-up capital, £571,753, and the sales had soared to £1.5 million. Truly, a credit to the memory of those early pioneers and to the soundness of the system they had established. 40 more years have passed, and 2 great wars have shaken world economics. Yet, in spite of all opposition and difficulties, St. Cuthbert's proudly presents ever-increasing figures. The membership in 1949 is 89,350, with a paid-up capital £1,003,852, while sales have reached the enormous figure of approximately £7 million. The years have not been without their setbacks. St. Cuthbert's has experienced its share of labour troubles, notwithstanding which they adopted the principle of union membership for their employees. In 1900, they amalgamated with the Edinburgh North District Co-operative Society, and in 1911, a transfer of the engagements from Norton Park Society to St. Cuthbert's was successfully negotiated. The War of 1914-1918 brought difficulties despite which 2 more societies were taken into amalgamation. Bonnie Rigg and Juniper Green societies in 1915 and 1916 respectively, and their members now share the advantages of a larger organization. The boundaries of the association were further expanded when the engagements of the Roseville Store Company Limited were transferred to St. Cuthbert's in March 1949. Progress and growth made it necessary to centralize and departmentalize. In the Newmarket Road is a large wholesale fleshing department containing refrigerators, chill rooms, and meat dispatch with office attached. Foresight in the initial erection of this department allowed room for expansion, and this site now also contains a sausage factory, bacon factory, and a cooked meats factory, second to none. Owing to drastic cuts in meat supplies during the war years, operations in these factories have been very much curtailed. In fact, the bacon industry has been under the control of the Ministry of Food. The day is optimistically awaited when the meat trade will be de-restricted, when, there is no doubt, these departments will once again flourish. Continuous and rapid growth of trade has kept the management busy with new bakeries and extensions to existing bakeries. However, when Port Hamilton Basin was discontinued, St. Cuthbert's were quick to seize the opportunity of obtaining this site in the center of the city. And a large bread bakery was erected here and fitted with the latest type of baking machinery. All the ovens are heated by steam pipes, fuel oil being used for heating the traveling ovens, and gas for the draw plate ovens. The output of this bakery is approximately 500,000 two-pound loaves per week. St. Cuthbert's are justly famous for their bread, and many people who are not members buy the association's bread. Cakes, pastries and biscuits are baked at the old bakery in High Riggs, and the catering department there is second to none. In January 1925, it was realized that the supply of milk was another service which could be carried out by the association. Plans were prepared for up-to-date premises capable of dealing with 180,000 gallons weekly. The site at Port Hamilton was the scene of operations, and the dairy was opened by Mr. John Mackenzie, the president, on the 24th of December, 1927. Cleanliness and purity were the first considerations, and the light, airy building was equipped with the latest and best types of machinery to ensure perfect treatment of the milk. The dairy was a success from the start, and in a very short time was contributing equally with other departments towards the maintenance of the dividend. No money has been spared to keep the plant up to date. Machines have been installed when required to cope with increasing trade. The machinery has been overhauled from time to time to ensure the utmost efficiency of operation. As a greater incentive to self-sufficiency, St. Cuthbert's in 1912 purchased a group of farms. Luckily, the general manager at that time had had previous experience and was able to combine the management of these farms with other duties. However, this was only a temporary expedient, and later a farm manager was appointed. The purchase of these farms added another source of supply for the members' needs, and the whole venture proved such a success that other farms were purchased as opportunity offered. The cows in this attested herd are mechanically milked. The milk is weighed in automatic weighing machines and then passed through to the cooler, from which it is filled into containers, sealed, and dispatched for sale in the association shops. During the war, the produce of these farms contributed a large share towards the country's economy. Large quantities of oats, wheat, barley, thousands of tons of potatoes, also hay, beans, and other cattle foods, all helped to feed the mouths which Hitler tried so hard to starve. In addition to that, many head of cattle, sheep, and pigs reared on the farms were added to the nation's food supplies. The famous stud of Percherons at Clifton Hall and Bonington has produced many workhorses with enviable records of achievement in the prize ring in both special and general classes. An extensive market garden provides a welcome supplement to the vegetable needs of the members. For festive and other occasions, a fine selection of flowers is available, and the keen gardener appreciates the supply of young plants for his flower and vegetable garden. Dwellings for the workers on the farms have been erected, served by the mobile shops of the association. Another rapidly expanding department is the laundry. When, in 1916, a large new laundry was opened, the management felt at last they would be able to cope with any expansion. But it was not so, and ever-increasing trade necessitated further extension. 2 more have been added, and trade is still increasing. The service has been extended to include dry cleaning, and there is also a carpet shampoo section, which is proving very acceptable to all who use this service. carpets undergoing this process soon acquire a new look. The recent acquisition of a hotel in the west end of the city has provided a comfortable temporary residence for visiting co-operators to enjoy the many amenities the city has to offer. The rapid expansion of St. Cuthbert's soon made the establishment of a transport department a practical proposition. In fact, it was not long before the premises allocated to this department became too small, and another move had to be made. The change from horse-drawn to motor vehicles also made it necessary for new premises to be built in Port Hamilton to deal with the rapidly increasing need for transport services. Today, in addition to a very large number of delivery vans, the association possesses a fleet of the most comfortable and modern luxury coaches. Shortage of accommodation and the rapid expansion of rural districts has also made it necessary to use mobile shops to bridge the gap. The entry of the movement into politics was met with some suspicion by the membership of St. Cuthbert's, as elsewhere. However, the able work of the St. Cuthbert's individual section of the Co-operative Party eventually succeeded in convincing them that representation in parliamentary and municipal life was desirable. The rivals of the movement were well entrenched, and it was the duty of co-operators to see that their interests were safeguarded. The Board of Directors has seen the start in public life of many well-known figures both in local and national circles. Their duties on subcommittees in the running of shops and farms has given them an insight into the running of the country's affairs. The rules of the association have recently been amended to include employees on the board, and several have since acted in this capacity. This well-known member of the board has served the association in the past as First Lady President and First Lady Secretary. Other members have from time to time been elected to the board of the Scottish Co-operative Wholesale Society, and a former secretary was appointed secretary to the Scottish section of the Co-operative Union. Westminster itself is not without its quota of St. Cuthbert's graduates. The member for Central Edinburgh, Mr. Gilleen, is an ex-member of the St. Cuthbert's Board of Management. Age does not dim the interests of St. Cuthbert's old employees. Miss Mary Leishman, who is 92 years of age, is still able to discuss the labor conditions of her day as compared with the present. Nor do the members allow their age to interfere with their interests. Mr. John Howie, who is in his 90th year, can recall the many changes which St. Cuthbert's has undergone during the last half-century.